Hello, everybody, and welcome to this conversation in the midst of this beautiful Earth Day celebration. And I am so excited to be here with our next guest to share a little bit with you about the incredible work that they do. And we have had the absolute blessing to be able to work with them in the local community at Covenant House in Toronto. And we have had a group of amazing young people who have been supporting the Covenant House Toronto community through COVID, through Zoom sessions with Sakota, with Fiona, with Anji, with Richie, and myself. And then we eventually evolved when things opened back up into in-person sessions with Anji as the lead and with Layla coming through as well. And so it's been an amazing support. I know Richie's been stepping into support, and it's been a really beautiful opportunity for us to grow within a local community and to expand within the love, peace, harmony field, just like many of you around the world are doing with your community service in your own local cities and communities as well. So our special guest today is Ram, and he is the spiritual advisor and offers pastoral care at the Covenant House. And I'm going to share with you a little bit about the organization in case you may not be familiar, as we are a global community. So for actually 40 years, the Covenant House has been in existence and have maintained a steadfast dedication to their mission, which is supporting the vulnerable youth who come through their doors. And they have remained committed to this. And there's so many different services. They are Canada's largest agency that serves youth who are homeless, trafficked, or at risk, and offer the widest range of services to hundreds of young people every single day. And they are much more than a place to stay. They provide 24/7 crisis, shelter, and transitional housing on site and within the community, along with comprehensive services including education, counseling, healthcare, employment assistance, job training, and aftercare since 1982. So it is my great honor and pleasure to introduce to you today Ram, who's going to be with us, and we're going to have a little bit of a conversation together. So welcome on, Ram.
Hello.
Wow.
Hi.
Awesome. So, yeah, I mean, it's amazing to reflect on the Covenant House just in that moment of as I was reading that. I'm like, wow, like just the work that they do every single day. And then there's people like you who are really on the ground and working with young people, working with them heart to heart every day. And so I think one cool place to start would just be like, what inspired you to do the work that you do? What inspired you to do what you do every day?
I think for me, it really comes down to my own lived experience. Um, you know, Growing up in a tough neighborhood, I got into a lot of temptation. Violence was the norm in my neighborhood, and so I had wonderful family and supports that never gave up on me, who always consistently checked in on me and always encouraged me to do the best that I can be. And it really comes down to that, just to be able to give back the love and the support that I received, and to give it back to others as well too, right? And I feel like for myself, just to help others discover their inner treasure is the greatest gift that I can give. And so, that's how I kind of live my life, just so I can just give back to others, because I know without the people in my life who gave back to me, I wouldn't be here today. And so I just want to continue on that gift, to give back.
That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And I also want to honor you because that's an incredible realization and offering for many of the people that you meet, and also to honor all the people that supported you along the way. So thank you for being a beautiful example for all of us. And I would love to ask you about that inner treasure that you just mentioned. Could you share with us a little bit about what that means to you? What is the inner treasure?
It's just that that part of each and every one of us, that that we are unique, that we are beloved, that we are precious, that no matter what we go through in our life, whether it's anxiety, doubt, or depression, no matter what people might say, that we're not worthy enough of happiness, that we know that we deserve the peace, love, and joy in our life, right? And some of the youth that we serve here at Covenant House, in the middle of their brokenness, they're thinking those thoughts that they're not worthy, that they don't deserve happiness, that they don't deserve healing. And here we are, to stand with them, to walk with them, to show them that, you have a potential and you are worthy of peace, love, and joy in your life. And we just wanted to show them that, they are seen, that they are heard, and they are supported through the tragedies that they've experienced. And one of our greatest blessings that we get to experience with them is to see them triumph over tragedy.
Hmm.
And so, and that's when they get to reveal, their own gift, right? And it's nothing that I can give. It's for me to be able to support them so that they can, you know, reveal their gift that was always within them.
Yes, absolutely. And for anyone who's watching, because we have many people watching from all different, countries, languages, walks of life, and many do work with young people, with youth, work in schools and communities, and all kinds of different ways. And for anyone who may even have a young child at home, or a niece or a nephew or a friend, or someone who of any age really could be experiencing tragedy and trauma and just really challenging times, and like you said, how could be having these thoughts, and how do you recommend, or what would you recommend for them to be of service, or to be a support for someone in their life in that state?
Just to really be present to them, to come in with a non-judgmental kind of care, to be able to show the true compassion that is within you and towards others, so that they know that, hey, he's not here because he's getting paid to be here. He wants to listen to me. He wants to support me, right? And I think we are our best tools. We are the best gifts that we can give. Yes, we can have all the skills and techniques that we've learned from school or our training, but who we are inside, we don't get taught that. And that's what we can really bring, and we have to believe that we can be a light to others, and even through our own lived experience, that we can really be able to relate to them and to show them that, like, hey, we're all in this together. And even though you're going through such turmoil in your life, I'm willing to be in your corner, right? To be in your corner and to kind of support you through this, right? And I feel like, we all have our own gifts, we all have our own passions, that we can offer to other people during their time of suffering, right? That will enable them to truly persevere. And I think, that's what's remarkable about, humanity, is that we're also uniquely created, and we all have our own gifts that we can give back, right? Someone could be so good at listening. Some people can be good at giving advice. Some can support through yoga. Some can support through creative expressions or art therapy or music therapy. And so, we're all in this together to kind of use our own gifts and talents to be a light to others.
Mhm. Absolutely. And how do you feel along the way you've discovered your talents or your gifts to be able to do this for others? Like, were there teachers in your life, or were there any turning points, or anything that, how did that sort of transition go for you, where you realized, oh, wait, I do have something to offer and I can support other people? And yeah, like, how did that journey look for you?
Just going back to my own seasons of suffering, like I remember, I can recall so many times in my life where I kept saying, you know, what am I here for? What is my purpose? How can I transform all the pain and suffering into light? And thankfully, I had so many mentors and spiritual mothers who were willing to kind of walk with me, to show me what it's like to receive compassion and non-judgmental care. And that's when I felt like I was like, I want to do the same. Like, this chair behind me, actually, this chair is a very special chair, because when I was a student here at Covenant House, the spiritual mother who was here, she supported me through everything. And I remember coming in one time, and I, through my own tragedy and my own suffering, I actually almost dropped out of school. So I was actually here as a student, and I came in to my placement with a letter in my pocket, and I was just gonna slide the letter under her door, and pretty much it was saying, I'm not like I wasn't worthy. I don't feel like I'm good enough. I'm going to drop out of school and I'm going to drop out of my place. But
Mhm.
yeah, she just saw me. She saw me, and she invited me into a room, and I'm like, oh no, took a seat right there, and all she said is, "I'm here for you," and she held that space for me, and I felt a space like no other, where I was just like, wow. I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I do with this? And you know, she just allowed me to be me, to open up. And I remember crying in that chair for I think a good hour before she even said anything, or before even I said anything. And she just held that space. And I walked out of that room, or this room, saying, wow, this is what I want to do. And I still have that letter in my pocket. And that shows the power of, you know, just having people in your life that are willing to support you, right? That sense of belonging is so important to experience, because I know that even through my own suffering, that I know that there's people that are willing to listen to me, are willing to hold the space for me to cry. Sometimes they know if I need advice, but sometimes they just know they just need to be quiet and to listen to me, to hold me with such precious care. And so it always goes back to my lived experience, that those things that were given to me, I'm like, this is what I want to give to others. And here I am, 5 years later since that day, kind of now sitting on the opposite side of the chair and holding the space for youth as they enter into this space, and inviting them to be their authentic selves, right? To take off those masks that sometimes they don't even realize that they're wearing, right? That it enables them to truly be vulnerable in a safe space, to really find the strength in their vulnerability, and be able to find and walk towards the healing and strength that they deserve. And sometimes, it really comes down to me just providing the space. Sometimes I don't even have to say anything. Maybe I'll ask a guiding question or two, but they just know that they can come in here and be heard, to be seen, to be touched by my care. And I just try to hold to that as I continue on.
Oh my goodness. This is wow. There's so many layers and dimensions to this story, and it's so powerful. And like, just like to see you here in this, I can envision it, I can feel it. And it's beautiful that you have turned it around in this way and are, bestowing this gift on others. And there's so much in what you share. There's so much wisdom in the compassion and the listening and in the, creating this space. I feel that can inspire all of us watching. I know it's inspiring me, in the ways that we can, elevate our service and elevate how we can care for one another, and how we can be there for our friends, for our family, for others as well. And this is a part of Earth Day, because we are really like connected, and we are, like you said, we are, here, and we are in this together. Is there any element of your like practices, or of your kind of like daily life, that you do connect to like Mother Earth in any way? And what might that look like, in terms of how that could be a practice for you, or something that we could learn from?
Yeah, so at Covenant House, again, out at in the spiritual care department, we really try to meet youth where they are. We really understand that every youth is so unique and so beautiful, and how we nourish that soul could be so many different ways. And being connected to the earth, is one of them, right? And so we bring a lot of programs and a lot of volunteers that will kind of help us help youth. And so we have yoga therapists who come on board, meditation and mindfulness therapists, and practitioners who come in and do weekly groups. Of course, like yourself, you come in as well too. Like, say for example, we actually recently did a mindful walk outside, and we walked outside in nature, in downtown, in one of the parks, and we just did a mindful walk, and we talked about, the beauty of creation, and being able to see the life that is everywhere, right? And we actually sat down under the tree after, and we just talked, and it was so amazing. Like, a lot of the youth that normally don't talk, they ended up just talking. They just felt so, they felt so comfortable, and I think it really is because of the nature. And a lot of them brought up nature. They all brought up their love for it, and our role that they play in terms of preserving that, and taking care of that. And it's amazing to see really the resiliency of the human spirit at work. Like when I was speaking to them, I was like, whoa, it's like they have so much things to worry about, right? They're experiencing homelessness, they're survivors of sex trafficking, they have you know, mental health challenges that they're sorting out, and they're facing addiction, yet they're still having conversations about what we can do
Mhm.
to take care of the earth that they walk on, right? And so it's wonderful to see that, because I think that gives them a sense of purpose and meaning, and it also shows it actually. I remember one youth saying they were inspired to actually, or encouraged and motivated to better themselves, so that they can be a source of light, and a source of peace to others, and especially to the earth as well too, right? So yeah, we're doing. And even when youth, one youth was sharing that they want to create their own line of I don't know, you call it like vegan um, household products and soaps and hand sanitizers that are sustainable, that are harmless to the environment, and they're all doing that in the midst of what they're going through. So it really shows, how connected they are. And I think their spiritual kind of connection is so apparent, and that's what kind of keeps them grounded. An anchor for many of them, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my goodness. That's amazing. And that I think was one of the things I was so inspired by the first time we met and connected, is just how dynamic you are in what you offer. Like I remember you mentioning going for a run with one of the, youth, because that was how they felt they could connect, and like doing this and doing that. So it's just like you said, meeting them where they're at. And that is so powerful in this context, and in many contexts with whomever we're connecting with. So I've really learned that from you today, and so much more. And we're really excited to see the comments and the sharing from everybody watching as well, of their experiences and awakenings from this conversation. We always like to ask everyone on this Earth Day, all the special guests, if you had one message to share with the world right now, if you could share a message with the world, what message would you like to share at this time?
Actually, I just had a conversation, a session with the youth yesterday, and we had a talk about, what is it like to change the world. And the youth, brought up this quote, and I think I will leave that with you to hopefully see how that resonates with you in regards to this special day. And it's a quote from Rumi, a mystic, Sufi poet, and it goes, one day I was clever. No, wait. Oh, yeah. There you go. I remember he was sharing. One day I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. But today I am wise, so I'm changing myself. And that's what they left me with. And I think, just reflecting on it now is, being able to better ourselves, to unlock our potential, in hopes that we can live the life that we are meant to live, but also to give back to those need, who need it, and also the world that is seeking change. So yeah, I think I'll leave that with that.
Amazing. Yeah, that's a very powerful one. Thank you. So amazing. Do you have any final words for all of the viewers, everybody watching?
Well, just thank you for your time, and thank you for listening. If anyone wants to connect, you can find me at Covenant House, and just truly an honor and privilege to be here and to share a little bit of the work that I do and what Covenant House do. So thank you so much, and blessings to all the work that you are all doing.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ram. And thank you, everybody, for watching this conversation with Ram and I. And we will move forward in our Earth Day. We want to thank you, Ram, and honor you for all the work that you do, and all of Covenant House, the whole team, and all the youth. We send our greatest love and gratitude.
Thank you.